Let's talk about the December 15th last full moon of 2024. This full moon is happening in the freedom-loving, communicative air sign of Gemini, where we want to have fun and be festive. But because this full moon is making a tense aspect to Neptune and Pisces, which could take us into deep emotional waters, you could feel this full moon, my friend, as a call to deepen your divine connection, to raise your vibration, and to step into a whole new level of soul empowerment. How you feel this Gemini full moon will depend on how this full moon is activating any planets or points in your natal astrology chart. And who will feel this full moon most intensely and personally, I will be sharing in part one of this video, in addition to the aspects and how we can navigate them with the most ease and grace, because the Neptune square is just one aspect. There are very supportive aspects to this full moon as well. In part 2 of the video, I will be doing 12 sign readings based on the whole sign house system, letting you know in which area of your natal astrology chart you'll be experiencing this full moon, and pulling an oracle card for each of the 12 signs as well. So I'm excited to go deeper with you, but first I want to say hello and welcome. If you're brand new to the channel, I'm so glad that you're here. It's my intention that we build a like-minded community. So if you would like to feel empowered through the astrology and find your tribe, be sure and subscribe so you don't miss a video. And hello and welcome back to all of you who have been watching my videos. I so appreciate your presence in our community. Thank you for all the ways that you give back to this channel. Take a moment now to tap that like button and leave me a comment. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I'm Betsy. I am a psychic astrologer as well as an intuitive life coach and the author of the book, The Magic of Saying Yes, Answering Your Heart's True Calling. It is always my passion, my dedication, my joy to empower you through Western tropical astrology. At the end of the video, I will tell you a little bit more about my astrology consultations as well as my coaching, so stay tuned for that. I also have a free gift for you, and I'll tell you how you can get your free gift at the end as well. If you'd like to receive my weekly inspirational astrology updates, I write about the astrology between videos, go to my website, sign up for those free updates, and you will get that free gift, instant download right away. One of the things I love about full moons is that as the light grows and we begin to see the fullness of the moon, our hope and optimism grow as well. Because after all, the full moon symbolizes wholeness. It is also symbolic of the divine feminine within all of us. And during this full moon, we're going to have the moon in open-minded, curious Gemini, making an opposition to the sun in fiery, adventurous, truth-seeking Sagittarius. All full moons, including this one, bring about some sort of culmination, fruition, closure, ending, or manifestation. After all, a full moon is the end of a manifestational cycle. So as much as you could experience some sort of ending, my friend, which often our human selves don't want, as much as you could experience something closing out for you, you could also experience a beautiful completion, graduation, blessing kind of experience. This Gemini full moon is the culmination of the Gemini new moon, which happened on June 6th of 2024. So you could go back to early June and notice if there was anything that you were beginning then. What seeds did you plant around that time for manifestation? For me, 6 months ago, I had just left Mexico, where I lived for 18 months. That was a huge adventure for me. And I came back to the Pacific Northwest, where my kids and my grandchildren are, and I've been here 6 months. Now it's time for me to contemplate what's next for me. You could also experience this full moon as a mini culmination of the Sagittarius new moon, which happened 2 weeks before this full moon. Gemini energy is mutable air, which means that it's changeable, it's flexible, it's open, it's spontaneous, it's ready for change. Or at least Gemini energy helps us to move through change. It helps us to soften our rigidity and get excited about what our future might hold. And of course, this being the very last full moon of 2024, it is preparing us by helping us to release, let go of anything that is closing out or ending. It's preparing us for the new beginning of 2025. And if you've watched any of my recent videos, I've been talking about how phenomenal and remarkable and rare the change of 2025 will be with all the outer planets changing signs. So Gemini rules our communication, talking about our future vision, our ideas, the new possibilities. It opens us up to choices and decisions. However, it's also a sign of duality. And with Gemini, this means we have one foot in the material world and the other foot in the ethereal world. One of the joys of Gemini energy is the connection to signs and synchronicities, wonder, our childlike curiosity, the idea that anything is possible when you are open to divine magic. Gemini is the archetype of the twins. One of the twins is heaven-bound and the other twin is earth-bound. But the magician in the heaven-bound twin, and we have these twins within all of us, and we feel this especially during a full moon in Gemini. The magician archetype, also known as the alchemist, helps us to transform dross into gold. The lower octave of Gemini energy is FOMO, not committing because there could be something better out there, so to speak, feeling scattered, restless, having trouble focusing, or being so future focused that we are not fully in this present moment. So you really want to ground your energy during a Gemini full moon. And if you are in a place that allows you to go barefoot, even for a few minutes, putting those bare feet on the earth. Any kind of meditation, yoga, anything that gets us out of our heads, Gemini, in the intellect, anything that gets us back in our physical bodies, movement, dancing, writing, because you use your hand, especially if you are writing with a utensil versus typing on the computer. All of these are very beautiful grounding techniques. Now, who will feel this Gemini full moon most intensely, most personally? It's happening at 23 degrees of Gemini, so those of you with planets or points between 19 and 27 degrees of Gemini or the other mutable signs, Sagittarius, Pisces, or Virgo, you are going to feel this full moon most intensely, most personally. The full moon will make more harmonious aspects with some of the other signs, and I will point out when that's happening when I get to the 12 sign readings. We are all going to feel this full moon somewhere in our chart because we all have Gemini energy in our natal chart. And we will all most likely feel it collectively, especially because it's making a square to Neptune, and Neptune rules the collective consciousness. So let's talk about the aspects that this full moon is making. First of all, the full moon is ruled by Mercury, the planet of communication, our monetary transactions, and this includes holiday travel and any shopping that you might do. And the good news from this point of view is that Mercury is going to be stationing direct. On the day of this full moon, you can't make this stuff up. What this says to me is that some of us will have a light bulb moment. Some of us will have a realization, a divine download, a magical synchronicity perhaps. Some news may come in, some new information. I definitely feel that collectively we're going to see a boost in information coming out. Maybe something that was buried that's now getting exposed. Gemini rules the media. But because of the aspects that I'm about to share with you, some of you may feel just like information overload. There's too much going on and happening, and you may want to retreat. You may want to pull in and take a break from your devices or whatever you have to do to just feel mentally serene. Now, the aspect I think we're going to feel most intensely is the T-square that the sun and the moon will make to Neptune. Neptune is now direct in Pisces. It stationed direct on December 7th, about a week before this full moon, which is synchronistic in itself. And Neptune in Pisces is associated with the arts, with fantasy, with the ethereal realms. Neptune itself is connected to our ideal vision. Wherever you have Neptune in your natal astrology chart, my friend, is where you have a dream, a desire to experience the sweetness of life. It's different for everyone, of course. For you, it could be a situation, it could be a career, it could be a relationship. Now, that's different from where Neptune is transiting in your natal astrology chart. Right now, for all of us, Neptune is transiting the house in which you have Pisces energy. And with this full moon in Gemini making a square to this Neptune in Pisces, something could come to light for you. If you've been too much in fantasy, if you have been in la la land, so to speak, if you have put someone on a pedestal, you projected your own ideal, your own sense of, often it's perfection. If you've had any sort of projection, which was actually more of an illusion than reality, something could happen during this full moon that brings you back to reality. It's also important to know that with Neptune in Pisces, because Pisces is connected to the 12th house of the zodiac, and the 12th house is associated with endings and karmic situations, events, and relationships, this full moon squaring Neptune wants to bring those karmic connections that have been completed to closure. And that's the beauty of this Neptune square. There are some soul contracts, as I've been talking about for months now, there are some soul contracts that have ended. And if we are hanging on, if we are hanging on tightly to something that we've outgrown, it's hard for our human selves. I totally get that. I have attachments too. We're human. We have attachments. There are people, situations, things that our human selves are still clinging to, but our spiritual selves, our soul, has outgrown. The soul moves on before the human self is often aware of it. So some of us during this full moon in Gemini, squaring Neptune and Pisces, may find ourselves needing to set a boundary, needing to cut ties to something, especially if there is a dependency, a codependency, an addictive behavior, something that isn't going to support us going forward in 2025. But on the light side, remember there is a light and dark to all energies. On the light side, the superpower of Neptune and Pisces is our connection to the divine, is partnering with our soul, which is what my book, The Magic of Saying Yes, supports you in creating that deep, deep connection to your soul so that whatever happens in earthly life, whatever comes and goes, change being the only constant in this human adventure, when we have this knowing, this superpower connection, that we are powerful co-creators, that we came here to co-create with the divine, and that we are magicians at our core. When we have this knowing, we can much more easily weather the ebbs and flows, the tide rolling in, the tide going out of earthly life. I also believe that this full moon in Gemini wants us to release past mistakes. Anything that we are holding against ourselves, any grievances that we have toward others or toward ourselves. Again, this is the age of Pisces that is leaving. Ever since Neptune has been in Pisces since 2012. And it is going to go into Aries in 2025 for a brief time. Yes, it will retrograde back into Pisces before it goes into Aries for good. But since 2012, Neptune has been helping us to heal past life wounding that then gets recreated in our childhood. And this is often where we are deeply afraid of loss because we've had this loss in a past lifetime or multiple past lifetimes. It could be a pattern such as unrequited love, financial instability, codependency, lots of patterns I can name, right? But what Neptune and Pisces wants us to do is unconditionally love ourselves through those difficult, painful changes. And I'm going to give you a quick example from my own life. If you are somebody who grew up in a family where lack was more of the mentality than abundance, then you may be on a journey with your money. And that's certainly been the case for me. I've been working on transforming my money story for quite some time, and especially empowering myself when it comes to savings, retirement, my nest egg, and so on. And I know that I've had many lifetimes of financial loss, huge financial losses. So this was a fear that I brought into this lifetime. And recently, I made an investing mistake, which I call a missed take. And it was so painful. All I can say is it was so painful, especially painful because this is such a strong goal of mine right now, is to build my retirement nest egg. And I've been so focused and so proud of myself. But I made a mistake. I was not fully attentive to what was going on. And that resulted in a missed opportunity. But when something like that happens that is completely out of your control, you have no choice but to accept it, feel through your fears, process them, and move on. Keep going toward your goal. And I share this with you because I think this full moon is really calling us to let go of past mistakes. We can no longer beat ourselves up for the things that we could have done differently. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Instead, to talk to your inner child and say, I know that this hurts. I know that you wanted to do this differently. I know that this is painful, but you did the best you could with the resources you had at the time, with the knowledge that you had at the time. Here's the thing with the Gemini full moon. Gemini is about knowledge. Gemini is about information. We want to be smart about our decisions in Gemini, but we can also beat ourselves up if we feel like we weren't smart. And this is what we are being called on to release, let go, accept, clear the emotions, clear the fear. In other words, some of you are going to experience, like myself, around this full moon time, cutting your losses. And it may not be around finances for you. It may be around a relationship. It may be around something else that you've invested in. It could be a career. You could be ready to leave a career. You could have really invested a lot of time, money, or energy or love into something, and now you realize you have to cut your losses and move on. And the win of this kind of experience is letting go of self-criticism, choosing to not be hard on yourself, choosing to love yourself through it, putting your well-being first. And another synchronicity, we're going to have the lunar nodes, which are now in Aries and Libra. We're going to have the lunar nodes moving into Pisces, the north node, and Virgo, the south node, on January 11th of 2025. So very soon after this full moon, we're going to have a shift of the lunar nodes. And this Pisces Virgo axis is where we can be really hard on ourselves, where we can be perfectionistic, where we want to improve and fix. And some things just aren't fixable. This is a karmic axis. So the shift is, instead of identifying with the loss, and instead identifying with divine love, with your spiritual beingness, the part of you that is choosing compassion, that is choosing forgiveness, that is growing exponentially through self-love. Now, we do have, during this full moon in Gemini, 3 super supportive aspects. Number 1, the sun in Sagittarius is going to make a conjunction with the galactic center, the center of the Milky Way. This makes this an ascension full moon, meaning that there are new light codes that we will likely be downloading and integrating, becoming more of the new human than we have before. In other words, spiritual awakening, taking our vibration to a higher level. And the message of this sun conjunct galactic center is believe in yourself, believe in your truth, follow your own soul in the direction that it is taking you. The full moon is also making a wide conjunction to Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. Even though Jupiter is retrograde, it could make this full moon feel that much more optimistic and expansive. So yes, you could experience a blessing, especially an internal blessing of realization, epiphany, a transcendent moment, possibly. My only caveat is that Jupiter retrograde is making a square to Saturn. That can be a feeling of exhaustion or just feeling drained. You could also feel like you're being pulled in a lot of different directions with Jupiter and Saturn squaring. So once again, any spiritual practice that takes you into your breath, that takes you to a lighter place in your consciousness, will be really helpful. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is that Jupiter is going to move into direct motion in February of 2025, which could be a second chance. Jupiter in Gemini is going to be with us until the end of May of 2025, so we still have opportunities for expansion and growth in the Gemini area of our life. Finally, Mercury in Sagittarius, now direct, is going to make a lovely trine, a harmonizing trine, the wind at your back, to fiery Mars in Leo. Now, it is true that Mars in Leo during this full moon is in retrograde, and this is a check-in point on our motivation, our mojo, our desire. What do we want next? Mars is reviewing, our inner Mars in Leo is reviewing our goals and our values and what's important to us now. Nevertheless, a trine from Mercury to Mars reminds me of the Strength card in the tarot. That is the Leo card. And both signs being in fire energy, that's inspiration. Whether it's inspiration to go within, whether it's inspiration in our divine connection, or with an idea or a new possibility, it's fire. And that's not only invigorating, it can just bring us more fun. Plus, we have Mercury in expansive fiery Sagittarius making a sextile to Venus now in cosmically attuned visionary Aquarius. I love this aspect. I love the sextile. It's new opportunities, it is solutions, and it is helping us create a future focused plan and vision that is coming from our soul. So, with Mercury and Venus doing this lovely dance, let your heart guide you, my friend. Let your heart show you. Let your heart show you the way toward your new beginning, your new chapter, whatever you're excited to begin in the brand new, never been here before territory of 2025. Okay, so let us do the 12 sign readings now. Listen to your rising sign. This is the area of your life based on the whole sign house system in which you are going to be feeling this full moon in Gemini. You can also listen to your sun sign. This is how your ego personality may be experiencing this full moon. And your moon sign is how you may experience it in your relationships, in your emotions. You may also want to listen to your Venus sign. And we're going to start with Gemini because beautiful Gemini, this is your full moon. Beautiful Gemini, I have my natal sun in Gemini. And those of you who are Gemini risings are going to experience this full moon in your first house. Now, look back to June, early June. What were you seeding intentions for at that time? Because this full moon is a culmination of 6 months ago, that cycle. We've had a full 6-month manifestational cycle. What were you wanting to accomplish, experience, be, do, or have based on that new moon in your sign, beautiful Gemini? A full moon in your sign could affect any area of your life. Why? Because it's happening in your first house. The first house on your ascendant is an angle of your chart, and that means you could experience this in your identity, a role that you play in your personal life, in your professional life, in a relationship, or in your career or home and family. It could be any of those main areas of your life. And truthfully, it could be in any area of your life. It could have to do with your finances. It could have to do with your health. Why do I say this? Because the first house is not only identity and your roles personally and professionally, it's also your vitality. It is your appearance. During a full moon in your sign, Gemini, you may want to get all sparkly. You may want to have a glow up, as we say. I encourage you, beautiful Gemini, to do something that is special for you, that feels like you are giving yourself a treat. You are treating yourself as the precious being that you are. Some of you may be shifting a role. Some of you could be meeting someone around this time. Full moons are manifestations, not just endings and closures. You could meet somebody new during this time. Of course, we could meet somebody new anytime, but especially if this full moon is making a conjunction to any of your planets or points in Gemini, it will be that much more impactful for you. So Gemini, let me shuffle the cards and see what the cards have to say for you. I talk all about the square to Neptune in the first part of this video, so I highly encourage you to go back and watch that part because there's also a theme here of releasing our past, a theme of forgiving ourselves, a theme of letting any past mistakes, that's what I call a mistake, a mistake, anything from your past, any grievance you could still be holding against yourself. It is time to let that go. That was so yesterday, beautiful gems. Okay, let's pull a card for you and see what the cards have to say. And I know that's not easy. I just want to say that. I know it's not easy, and that's why I go into it at length in part 1 of this video, because we are leaving the age of Pisces going into the age of Aquarius with Pluto and Aquarius, and that does require for a lot of us a real shedding of a skin, self-forgiveness, putting something in the past, cutting our losses, let bygones be bygones. That's part of what some of you will experience. Not all of you, but some of you could experience that during this full moon. Let me pull a card for you now. Ah, beautiful Gemini. Your card is... Ooh, what a great card. Reach for the moon, go for it. Check out this card. Oh my gosh, there's the full moon. She is feeling victorious. She has her vision and she is reaching for the moon. Reach for the moon. The worst that could happen is you land among the stars, right? Beautiful Gemini. Go for it. If you are wondering whether you should say yes to something, whether you should say yes to a new job, a new career, a relationship, moving, anything that would be expansive in your life, this card is your sign. Absolute yes, go for it. Beautiful Gemini, if you want to claim that you are ready to go for it, let us know in the comments below. I would love to hear. Okay, Taurus. Hello, beautiful Taurus. Taurus, you are going to be experiencing this full moon in Gemini in your house of material security. So this is the income that you earn. It is aligning your life with your values. What is most important to you now? It's also self-love, self-esteem, self-worth, what you know you deserve. With a full moon like this in your second house, you could experience this in any of these different ways. So you could feel like it's time to increase your income. You could get a new job or a promotion or start a side gig, or you could have an influx of new money or start something that is going to bring you more income. That could happen during this full moon. Or you could really be aware of where you need to release a grievance and let go of something that has kept you in a state of lack or not feeling like you are worthy of what your heart most wants. This full moon really, I can't say it enough. I can't emphasize it enough, wants us to release any past life losses, lack, places where we were shunned or condemned or burned at the stake, or any of those things that happened to so many of us in past lifetimes. It's time to let that go. We are going into a brand new era with Pluto and Aquarius. We're in the brand new era. And next year with Aquarius, Pluto and Aquarius making so many aspects too, really beautiful aspects with Neptune and Aries and Saturn and Aries, it is really a new foundational platform from which us to rebuild anything that has been what we would call a loss. So Taurus, I know you've had Uranus going through your sign for many years. You guys have been through it in a lot of ways, but you also got Jupiter in Taurus, and that probably brought you wonderful things. You're all going to be experience this differently depending on whether this full moon is making aspects to any personal planets or points in your chart. So let me pull a card for you. And of course I can do a chart reading for you and give you a sense, a much clearer sense based on your own natal chart of what is in store for you right now. And as we move into the beginning of the new year as well, let me see what the cards have to say for you. Ah, Taurus, your card is Embrace Uncertainty Moonlit. Check out the card, Taurus. So when I see this card, I see the Piscean ocean, which is connected to both Saturn and Neptune being in Pisces, and we're getting aspects that are from Neptune, and Jupiter squaring Saturn. So all of that Piscean energy is part of it. And I also see, a pathway, a walkway toward a new beginning. But new beginnings inherently bring uncertainty. It's new territory. 2025 is all new territory. This full moon is preparing us for 2025. So you are going toward a new goal, Taurus. You are building something. All this earth energy, this is you right here. This new mountain, you're going to be building a new mountain. You're going to be climbing a new mountain. But right now, because of the emotional nature of this full moon squaring Neptune, the guidance is to embrace the uncertainty, to just understand that, hey, this is what happens when you grow. This is what happens when you walk into a new energy that you haven't been in before, a new timeline. Embrace it and you will flourish. You will flourish, beautiful Taurus. If this card resonates, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear. Aries, hello, beautiful Aries. Aries, you are experiencing the full moon in Gemini in your third house of communication, mindset, your inner narrative, any story that you have been telling yourself about your life. We all have an inner narrative. We all have thoughts and all of that. This is the house of thinking and of writing, connecting with others. It's your local environment. It is your hood. It's your neighbors, your devices, your cars, your website if you have one. learning and growing and teaching. And if you do freelance work, if you have your own business, it is your transactions, your everyday kinds of connections, transactions, networking, and so on with people that you interact with as part of your business. Siblings fall into this house as well, aunts, uncles, and cousins, and the meetings and coffee dates that you have with people as well. So Aries, you're getting a sextile from the full moon to your Aries planets or points, and this is beautiful. This is a solution. This is an opportunity. This is a really beautiful full moon for you. I think it's going to feel quite expansive to you in any of the ways that I just mentioned. So some of you could have some sort of opportunity come through a sibling or a close family member. Some of you could start a website or have your website complete around this time. You could be stepping into your own business around this time. Again, this is a full circle moment, a manifestational cycle completing. Or if you've been procrastinating on something like writing a book or on writing a blog or teaching a course or any of that, you may find during this full moon that the procrastination ends and you are ready to begin a whole new cycle with the Capricorn new moon that is going to come 2 weeks after this. So beautiful Aries, let me pull a card for you and let's see what the cards have to say for you. This is really good for any kind of communication, any kind of healing in relationships, any kind of making something right, fixing something, or you could be moving your office or home to a new location around this full moon time as well. So let's see what the cards have to say for you, Aries. Aries, your card is Truth, the moon rising. Aries, all the color, the fiery color in this card is your energy. I feel like this is so obviously it's saying there's a truth that's going to come to light. That often happens during a full moon. But I also feel like this is a reminder that life is a series of cycles, that life is a series of building into a new truth, a new realization, a new manifestation. And then we begin again. When we come back to a new moon, we start fresh with a new cycle. And I also see in this tower of moons, so to speak, strength, resilience. There's a lot of darkness. Obviously, with a full moon building, we see the dark even more powerfully sometimes because of the contrast of the dark sky and the bright full moon. So maybe this is also saying there is some dark fear or inner darkness that wants to come to your attention for you to love, embrace, integrate. We're all made of dark and light. Sometimes your brightest light has been in the dark. Maybe there's some bright, bright light, a new soul essence, a new aspect of you, a part of you as a child that was pushed down, suppressed, repressed, that is ready for you to embrace as well. Beautiful Aries, if this resonates, I don't know what your truth is. It will be different for all of you, but if this resonates for you, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear. Pisces, hello, beautiful Pisces. Pisces, you're going to feel this full moon. Why do I say this? Because it is making a square to your energy, and squares do often mean we have to move through some tension or pressure or stuckness to come through to the other side and be victorious. You are going to experience this full moon in your fourth house of home, family, and childhood conditioning. This is the house of your roots and your belonging. So there is something that is happening within you, Pisces, during this full moon that wants to help you to feel more secure. Some of you will simply be moving. Some of you will be changing your home in some way, redecorating, rearranging your furniture. Some of you will be having a healing with a family member or cutting ties to a family connection, perhaps, if only temporarily. Because Neptune in your sign is squaring this full moon, Pisces, many of you, or maybe I should say some of you, will likely experience a revelation. in a relationship, in a job, in some sort of situation. And I think it's going to be a relief for you because I think you would have felt this coming. I think you would have already gotten signs that you were not fully connected to the reality of another person, perhaps. I speak about this Neptune square at length in the first part of this video, so I encourage you to go back and watch that if you haven't yet. This full moon wants us to honor our truth, to put our own well-being first. Beautiful Pisces. If your home is not the sanctuary you want it to be, and you want to ask someone to move out, or you end up moving out, or a relationship ends potentially, or you walk away from something that just isn't in alignment with your current vibration, I hope that you allow yourself to celebrate, beautiful Pisces, because it is a celebration. It is an up-leveling on a soul level. You are moving into a new timeline as we walk into 2025 with remarkably shifting astrology. So let me now pull a card for you, beautiful Pisces, so we can see. I'm shuffling for you, but we can see what the cards have to say for you, Pisces. Being easy on yourself, loving yourself, treating yourself as the preciousness that you are, Pisces. Your card is Synchronicity, the moon's moment. Check it out. It is time. The timing is right for you now. Synchronicities are lining up. You're going to receive the signs that you need. You're going to receive the intuitive guidance that you need. Follow your guidance. Things are lining up for you. Something that feels fated or destined may occur for you around this full moon time. Embrace it. Yes, there's a lot of dark in the background of this card, but there's also a full moon, and there's also a knowing that as you walk on this path and you meet up with the synchronicities, that you are a magical being connecting with the next step, the next chapter, the next path in your life. Beautiful Pisces, you know better than anyone that if you follow your own feelings, you cannot go wrong. Trust your gut. You will absolutely know what to do, and you may receive a beautiful manifestation blessing during this full moon as well, beautiful Pisces. Okay, Aquarius, Aquarius, Aquarius. Beautiful Aquarius, you are going to experience this full moon in Gemini in your 5th house of romance, true love, creative expression, unbridled, free adventure, saying yes to your heart, and children, whether they're your own children, children that you work with or play with, just the joy of your own childlike nature. Beautiful Aquarius. This beautiful full moon for you is making a trine to your energy. Gemini is air. You are air. You're getting a trine. It's the wind at your back. I think you're going to really love this full moon. I think you're really going to experience the joy of it. And some of you could have a manifestation of a romance. Some of you could be putting something out that is creative. Some of you out into the world. Some of you could be writing or painting or dancing or creating some sort of work of art, whatever that is for you. It doesn't have to be art in the traditional sense. Or you could get pregnant during this full moon, Aquarius. That could happen. So, of course, I don't know why we astrologers always tell you to take precautions. You're an adult, you know what to do, Aquarius. But if you want to get pregnant, this is a beautiful full moon for that. Or you could find out that you're pregnant during this time. If not that, a creative child, a creative birth could happen for you during this full moon. Or if you have children, something really wonderful could happen for one of your children during this full moon. So Aquarius, have fun, treat yourself, do something joyful, do something that your inner child would really love. Let's see what the cards have to say for you. Aquarius, your card is, it's the Gemini card. The moon's reflection, accept responsibility. Why do I say it's the Gemini card? You see the twins. There's so much gold in this card. This card is a card for me of abundance. We see the full moon here, and it says accept responsibility. You are co-ruled by Saturn and Uranus. Uranus is the wild card energy. It is the reinvent yourself energy, Aquarius. But Saturn is about responsibility. So if this resonates for you, and it won't for everyone, but if there's something that happened in your past or in your present that you're not feeling good about, this full moon wants us to forgive ourselves, make amends if that feels appropriate to you. This full moon wants us to release the past, accepting responsibility, even if only internally, is going to help you, I think, to let go, release, and forgive yourself if that's something that makes sense for where you are now, beautiful Aquarius. If this card resonates, let me know. And if not, to me, this is about connecting to your own inner twin, connecting with a friend, having fun, having a great, lively conversation, enjoying being with simpatico, like-minded others, beautiful Aquarius. Capricorn, hello, beautiful Capricorn. Happy birthday to you. Capricorn, you are experiencing this full moon, will experience in your 6th house of your daily habits, schedules, routines, also your work schedule, and it's also wellness. It is how you exercise, the food that you eat, and all of that. It's basically that the house of optimal health, and it also is the house of pets, animals. So Capricorn, with a full moon here, this could bring a manifestation, a closure, an ending, a culmination in any of these areas that I just mentioned. Some of you may be coming into a truth or realization about your health. Others of you could be realizing that something in your work environment is no longer good for you. You may be ready to walk away from a job. You may realize that there's a toxic work environment involved for you, or a toxic boss, or a coworker that you've been trying to quote unquote manage, and you realize now that it really is time for you to move on. After all, full moons are often about closures. Or you could get a new job during this full moon. You could have something fall into your lap that is the answer to your prayers. That could happen too. You could also come into beautiful clarity, Capricorn, with Mercury making a trine to Venus in Aquarius. You could be getting a realization about a future vision and creating a future vision for your everyday optimal health or daily work. So Capricorn, that vision will take you into the new moon in your sign, which is going to happen at the end of this month. So this is an important full moon for you in Gemini because it's preparing you for that new moon. It's helping you to release anything from your past or anything toxic or not good for you now, so that you can be ready for your new moon, Capricorn, stepping into your season as we begin the new year. So of course your season begins before that, but you get the idea. If you haven't watched my December 2024 video, I talk more about your season. Okay, Capricorn, let me pull a card for you and see what the cards have to say. Capricorn, your card is the moon's wisdom, take the lead. Wow. Check it out, Capricorn. You do have leadership energy. You are the CEO, the executive of the zodiac. We see a full moon here. We see a mountain for you to climb here, Capricorn. You are no stranger to climbing new mountains. You always want to go to the next height. That is your energy. So this card is saying you're going to get some wisdom. You're going to get some wisdom through a relationship, through a job situation, through your health, through a meeting with a professional, perhaps some of you. And that wisdom is going to give you a new goal, a new sight, a new horizon. And as you take the lead and say yes to that, you're going to soar into brand new territory, beautiful Capricorn. If this resonates, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear. Sagittarius, Sagittarius, beautiful Sagittarius. Beautiful Sag, you will experience this full moon in Gemini, which makes an opposition to your energy. The sun is in your sign, of course, during this full moon, and the moon will be opposite you. And you will experience this in your house of committed partnerships, personal and professional. This can include clients, it can include adult children, it can include best friendships, it can include romantic partners, anyone that you see yourself committed to in some way, shape, or form. So what does it mean, beautiful Sag, to have a full moon in your 7th house? It means you could be having an ending of a relationship, a culmination of a project that you do with somebody. It could mean that you have a manifestation, that you meet someone. Someone could propose to you. You could propose to somebody. There is a beautiful deepening of a partnership here that's on offer for you, or some of you will cut ties. I know that's really hard. I totally empathize with anyone going through any sort of a breakup, and not all of you by any means will experience breakups, but I do want to extend my compassion if that is something that you are going through. Some of you may be creating a vision for partnership for yourself right now. And to do so, you may need to release some emotional baggage, which I talk about when I discuss the Neptune square. And that could be part of your full moon process as well. But just know that in the big picture, this full moon wants to bring you into alignment with whatever desire you have in partnership. And if you don't want a partner, consider this a partnership with your own soul. So Sag, let me shuffle for you and let us see what the cards have to say for you. We do have a mutable T-square going on during this full moon, which I discussed at length in the December 2024 video, but I want you to know that if you're experiencing a sense of being pulled in different directions right now and a lot on your plate, some overwhelm, some just a sense of the energy being a little bit heavy right now, just know that this too shall pass. Beautiful Sag. Okay, let me pull a card for you. Sag, your card is Ring Around the Moon Protection. Here's the full moon. You are protected, Sag. Jupiter in Gemini is protecting all of us. And your energy is across from Jupiter in Gemini. And Jupiter in Gemini is beaming its energy across the zodiac to you. You are protected. Go to your spiritual source if needed. Do you see this pink, this yellow, this bluish green light all around this moon? Move into, so I'm getting an image right now of moving into the moon, like imagining that I am nestled into the moon, or some of you might want to imagine that you're nestled on a star and that you're simply receiving the light. You're just filling up with light. Fill up with the light. And I think you're going to feel this protection on a very visceral level. Beautiful Sag, if you resonate with this, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear, and you might want to claim that you are protected as well. Scorpio, hello, beautiful Scorpio. Scorpio, have you watched my video on your superpower? A lot of Scorpios have really loved that. They resonate with it. So that just came to me, so I'm sharing it with you. You are going to experience the full moon in Gemini in your 8th house of death and rebirth, transformation, power, and control. What does this mean? You are going to have a manifestation, a completion, an ending, a sense of a graduation moment in the area of finances or partnership. This is the house where we share time, money, and resources with other people. This can include clients. It can include, partners like marriage partners or people that we live with if we share time, money, and resources. Of course, if we live with someone, we do. Also, the house of emotional and physical intimacy. So when you have a full moon in this house, that brings a realization, it brings a truth, it brings a moment of transformation for some people. It brings a moment of letting go and releasing and accepting what we cannot change for others. It is the house, after all, where we are releasing dependencies, where we're getting stronger, where we're growing into our empowerment, where we're realizing where we have power, where we don't have power. We're accepting that. We're doing what we can to change what we can change, and we're doing what we can to feel serene and at peace about what we can't. So that is the big picture of what's going on for you, Scorpio. The 8th house is also your assets, your investments. It is your loans and taxes. So some of you could be very simply doing, your computations for taxes during this time. You could be just figuring out your financial life during this time, or thinking about or trying to sell a home, or maybe some of you who want to sell are selling a home. Maybe you're buying a home during this time. Mercury is going direct just as this moon is full. So that is the green light for any big purchases. But I know people who bought homes during Mercury retrograde too. And yes, there were a few slowdowns or snafus that can happen, but everything got resolved. So some of you could have gone ahead and, been in that process, Mercury retrograde or not. Some of you may definitely experience with the Neptune square a relationship ending, but that Neptune energy is making a trine to your energy. So that is really beautiful. That is harmonious to you. And that may mean that you don't experience any of the illusion or harshness of Neptune energy. Maybe instead you're experiencing the envisioning of your ideal partnership, your ideal home, your ideal assets, and building up of investments. That could be part of this full moon process for you as well, because after all, Scorpio, we have Mercury in Sag making a trine to Venus in Aquarius, and that is helping us to create a new vision as we move into 2025. So let me pull a card for you and see what the cards have to say for you, beautiful Scorpio. Scorpio, your card is releasing. What I love about this card, I mean, this is very 8th house. And the reason I say that is because of the darkness and the hands in black. To me, this is very witchy, but it also reminds me of the underworld. There's somebody that's walking here through the desert, and there's something that you're trying to build that is long-term, sustainable, foundational for you. The gold is abundance. The gold it's metallic. It's like there is something solid and strong for you here, Scorpio. But to do that, you want to be holding up. See how the hands are holding the moon? You want to be holding up the truth of who you are. You want to be expressing and not afraid of your fears, not afraid of losses, not afraid of the past. Instead, you want to release anything that feels dark for you so that you can embrace your own wholeness, embrace your own light, and build this solid foundation of abundance. Beautiful Scorpio. If this resonates, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear. Libra, hello, beautiful Libra. Libra, you are going to experience the new moon in Gemini, which makes a lovely trine to your energy. You are air, Gemini is air, and you're going to experience this full moon. If I said new moon, I meant full moon in your 9th house of expansion, Libra. You're going to be expanding. This is the house of new adventures, new horizons, learning something new. Some of you will take on a degree program, or you're graduating from a degree program. This is after all, this is an ending, culmination, completion, or a new manifestation. So some of you are coming full circle with something and feeling like I'm graduating from this. I'm celebrating. I'm excited that I have accomplished whatever that is. You fill in the blank. It could have to do with something that you've learned. It could have to do with a degree program or some sort of coursework. It could have to do with a certification program that you have completed, or it could be long distance travel. Some of you could be doing the paperwork so that you can live in a different country. Some of you are completing your past around a spiritual belief system, around a religion that you could be leaving behind, bidding farewell to because it no longer matches your vibration. That could be happening as well. This full moon wants you to expand your horizons, wants you to see from a new perspective, wants you to rise above your life, fly above your life, and see how far you've come, beautiful Libra. If anything comes up during this full moon, which I don't think it's likely to do for you because you are getting this beautiful trine energy, but if it did, the solution would be to go higher, to connect with the divine so that you can see the truth, whatever that happens to be for you. So Libra, let me pull a card for you. Let's see what your message is. Beautiful Libra. Your card is meant to be. You are being called by the moon. Wow. Wow. I love this card. This card has not come up before. Moon called. What are you being called to, Libra? Do you see all the purple? That is the crown chakra. You know, the crown chakra rules your belief system. The ninth house is connected to your belief system. There could be something there about you releasing a belief or taking on a new belief, believing in yourself to a higher degree. There's something here very ethereal because of all the purple. There's an artistic talent, some of you. It doesn't have to just be. It's funny, I thought she was playing a violin, but now I realize her arms are just out. They're having a moon circle. They're wearing angel wings. You could have a moment that just feels meant to be. You could meet somebody, it's meant to be. You could connect with someone who invites you on some sort of retreat. It's meant to be. You could have a dream with a message, meant to be. You could come into money, meant to be. Whatever it is going to expand you. Wow. I love this, Libra. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you want to claim your whatever it is that is meant to be for you. Let us know in the comments below. I would love to hear. Virgo, hello, beautiful Virgo. Virgo, you are going to be experiencing the full moon in Gemini in your 10th house of career legacy. This is also retirement. It is semi-retirement. It is your life purpose expressed, your passion, your vocation. The 10th house is whatever we do in the 10th house. It's something that we're committed to or passionate about. It's the 6th house that is your everyday work. And sometimes that everyday work doesn't match your 10th house of career, vocation, or life purpose expressed. You are going to be having a full circle moment, a manifestation, or an ending culmination, something that you are perhaps saying goodbye to in this 10th house area. Virgo, this full moon is making a square to your energy, and that is added motivation. It can feel like pressure, but it is new motivation and power, ultimately, transmuting tension and pressure into motivation to get closer to what your heart most wants in terms of career, in terms of passion or vocation. Or if you do want to retire, big picture, this house is really about how do you want to spend your time? Such a great question, right? How do you want to spend your time? Most of us were not conditioned to believe that we could actually make that choice. It's so easy for us to go, oh, if I could, I would do this, but I can't because of this. We go straight to the reasons why we can't. But this full moon, squaring Neptune in Pisces, and Neptune in Pisces is opposite your sign. So Neptune in Pisces is in your 4th house. This full moon may be asking you, calling on you to do some sort of healing around conditioning, around a relationship with a family member or your home. In fact, some of you could be moving. Some of you could be leaving a situation that is no longer in your highest good, having to do with your home or your career. So, beautiful Virgo, I want to express my compassion if you're going through anything challenging, but I also want to express that I know that you have incredible tenacity. You are the healer of the zodiac. You are the archetype of the practical healer. Any pain that you experience, you will transmute and you will use to help others through their pain. So I 100% believe in you. And I know that for those of you who are going through a challenging time, whatever is happening so that you can realize your strength, your talents, your power, your gifts that much more. So beautiful Virgo, let me pull a card for you. And not all of you will be experiencing something hard. It depends on the aspects that this moon is making to your planets and points in your chart. And sometimes we have other transits going on to other planets and points that make up for any difficulty. So important to keep in mind. I would have to do a private reading. It would be my joy to do a private reading for you to see the full picture for you. Okay, let's see what the cards have to say, beautiful Virgo. Your card is the Night Moon Shadow Work. Some of you will do shadow work. I am not surprised given the fact that you are receiving an opposition from Neptune to your energy, beautiful Virgo. But the divine is with you. The purple, your crown chakra, it is the divine energy. It is the color of Pisces. You will get the divine support that you need. Get outer support if you need it. You could do an astrology consultation or a coaching session with me. I have guided meditations on my channel. You can also download a guided meditation from my website when you sign up for my weekly inspirational astrology updates. But if you feel like you're walking in the desert right now, get the support that you need. Tune into the divine. We have the full moon here. It's going to illuminate whatever needs illuminating for you. And Virgo, you are so good at healing yourself and others just by your presence. Whatever is happening, if it's hard, you will come through this. As you move into an awareness of the shadow, you bring it into the light, and a new you will bloom and blossom and thrive. Beautiful Virgo, if you want to claim your blooming, blossoming, and thriving, let us know in the comments below. I would love to hear. Leo, hello, beautiful Leo. Leo, you are going to experience the full moon in Gemini in your 11th house of hopes, wishes, and dreams, long-term financial gains. This is the current dream of your life. Also your friendships, your alliances, communities, groups, and your support network. The 11th house is a beautiful place to have a full moon. It's social media as well. If you have an audience or a following or platforms where you put your work out into the world, it's also the house of branding and marketing. This is a great full moon for feeling like you are connecting with your tribe. In this 11th house, beautiful Leo, you could experience a culmination, ending, full circle moment, fruition, graduation moment, or manifestation in long-term financial gains, in friendship, in a dream that you've been working on, any causes that you are, a part of or that you lead. You are getting a beautiful sextile from this full moon, and that means that you are going to probably experience a new opportunity or a solution, something that betters your life in some way. Leo, your fire and the Gemini air, they make magic happen. So I think you're really going to love this full moon. Again, it's how it affects you will really depend on how it's impacting, activating any planets or points in your astrology chart. But let us see now what the cards have to say. And Leo, while I'm at it, I should say that Mars is retrograde in your sign. I talk about this in my December 2024 video, but Mars retrograde here means that you are rethinking, assessing where you want to put your energy going forward, what's important to you. And that's happening in your first house if you're Leo rising. So if you have a little bit of lower energy, especially if you have planets or points around these degrees where Mars is going retrograde around 6 degrees of your sign, just know that it is a time of where you may just pull in a little bit, where you may feel like you don't have as much energy as you usually have. And the epiphanies, the review that you do are going to help you to know how you want to move forward in 2025. So Leo, let me pull a card for you now and see what the card message is for you. And it is the Law of Attraction, Moon Mastery. This is one of my favorite cards in this deck. This is like the Three of Cups cards. The ladies hanging out, they're doing a full moon releasing ritual. And look at the vibes that are going up and around from all of their joy and all of their law of attraction. They're in the vortex. They are in the vortex as Abraham Hicks describes it. This full moon, you're getting the sextile energy. This card with the full moon, I think, is saying do some sort of full moon ritual. Get some people together. Even if you have to get people online together. It's a great full moon for you, Leo. I mean, after all, it is happening in your house of friendship. Here they are, and then with friends. There's some magic that you could make happen with all of you putting your visions together and activating your visions through this fiery law of attraction energy. Beautiful Leo. If this resonates, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear. Cancer. Hello, beautiful Cancer. Cancer, I have my moon and rising in Cancer. And those of you who are Cancer risings, you're going to experience this full moon in Gemini in your 12th house. The 12th house is the mystical house. It's the ethereal realms. It is the house of rest and retreat. You could feel more tired during this full moon because we are getting this Neptune square to the full moon. Neptune's in Pisces. That Pisces energy is connected to 12th house energy, and it's often a time when we do want to pull in. We are doing some releasing, we are doing some purging of emotions, we are letting go. This full moon will likely have more emotions connected, more release, just because of this Neptune square. But you could have some really intense, interesting dreams that give you messages. You could go through some sort of awakening, spiritual awakening. You could feel more connected to the divine. This is a beautiful full moon, Cancer, for you to do some sort of manifestational work, some sort of guided meditation, visualization, that kind of thing. Some sort of deep dive, internal deep dive. Reprogramming your subconscious mind. Any fears that arise from your past. I tell the story of what I have had to release in the past few months. If that resonates, or there's anything that you have regretted or held against yourself, or any fear, this is the time to release it, beautiful Cancer. You could have some really magical moments during this full moon. You could really deepen your connection with the divine, or just be in that mystical space. And I love that mystical space. And by the way, Cancer, the Pisces energy, the Neptune in Pisces, does make a trine to your energy. So that's beautiful. Even if one or more planets or points are receiving challenging aspects, you're going to get a trine from the Neptune energy. So that could just take you deeper. And I do have guided meditations on my YouTube channel for you, as well as one that you can download when you sign up for free to my inspirational astrology updates. So let's see what the cards have to say for you, Cancer. Cancer. Your card is Celebration, Cancer, moon dance. It's a marvelous night for a moon dance. Oh, Cancer, I love this card. Wow, check it out. There's some romance in this card. Look at the vibes, look at the music. This is really a card of festivities, Cancer. Wow, I am so intrigued right now. I am loving this. I'm loving this for myself, I have to say. I'm loving this for all Cancers. Wow, wow, wow. If you want to claim your celebration, you are celebrating something during this full moon. I don't know why I'm surprised. Maybe because I have a sun in Gemini, so part of me is like, I wonder what this full moon's bringing. But I want you to know that, I'm not surprised now that I think of it. Neptune trining your energy could bring a dream to life for you. It could bring a moment of feeling like, oh my gosh, this is what I wanted, and now I'm celebrating. Now I have it, and I'm experiencing it, and I love it. So enjoy, beautiful Cancer, enjoy. And if you want to claim your joy, your celebration, romance, or whatever else this card means to you, whatever you see in this card, claim it in the comments below. I would love to hear. My beautiful friend, thank you for joining me for this Gemini full moon video. I am so grateful for your presence. Thank you for all the ways that you support the channel. Thank you for giving this video a thumbs up, for liking it, for leaving your comments, for sharing this video to other people who love astrology, for subscribing. When you subscribe to my channel, you send a message to the algorithm, which then puts this video out to more people who love astrology. And it means the world to me. It's a beautiful way to show your support. If you would like to meet me on Zoom for an astrology consultation or a coaching session, go to my website, check out the testimonials that other clients have shared after they have worked with me, and you should get a sense of whether you feel called to work with me. We can do a natal chart reading, life purpose, relationship harmony, heart's desire, and very soon I will be putting out my 2025 year ahead readings, which is a 90-minute reading in which I go over the most significant transits of 2025 for you. Check out my coaching page if you would like coaching support, and it will be my joy to meet you on Zoom. As promised, I have a free gift for you. That is a soothing guided meditation. It's my intention to connect you with your divine essence, with your unconditionally loving spiritual guidance. If you would like to download that free guided meditation, just go to my website, sign up for those free weekly inspirational astrology updates, and you will get that instant download at the same time. So, my beautiful friend, I'm excited for this Gemini full moon. It is taking us into a new timeline. This will be an ascension full moon in which we will rise to the next level of our soul's vibration and be that much more ready for the remarkable astrology of 2025. So let me know what you think of this full moon. What are your thoughts? How are you feeling the energies? And until my next video, I am sending you all my love.